When I first started getting involved in gospel music, they didn't have all the bands and instruments that they do today. And the accompanist just learned to play what we call rhythm style or vamping for the quartets, because they didn't have the bass guitars and the drums, so they became what we call a one-man band. They just learned to play real solid rhythms, and they accompanied a group, and they learned how to really accentuate the positives that the groups did. And that kind of adapted from the quartet style into the studio style, and the studio musicians picked up on the rhythm patterns, and when they would play with other musicians, they would mostly play rhythms to the songs. And then when the other instruments filled, as we call it, they would fill in the holes where the vocalists were not singing, and they'd let the vocals sing, and then they'd play a fill. So the pianist learned how to play rhythms, and then they would put a fill in. And what I wanted to tell you about today is that no matter what you learn from this video, and all these pianists are great, they teach you many things, but learn how to play tastefully, because you can learn to play a lot of things. As long as you're playing a solo, you can play whatever you want. But when you're playing for a group, or playing for a quartet, or playing for a soloist, remember that you're accompanying them, and you're to play when they're not singing. In other words, you play rhythms like if they're singing "What a Friend We Have in Jesus," you'd play. Then feel. In other words, you fill in the holes. That way it becomes, you're really amplifying what they're singing. And you're adding to instead of taking away. A lot of pianists, if you're playing for groups, you can play too much. So learn how to play tastefully.